And I really want to start, I guess, using my time as an investment, and really double down on the fact that time in itself, once time is your most valuable asset. And what I'm more specifically talking about right now is just what I want to do with my time right now. I was actually thinking about going online on one of my ride share apps, Uber or Lyft, and driving and making some extra cash. And instead, what I'm going to do is go to my lair and make some cold calls that can potentially add up to more than just some cash. I mean, you know, more than I'd make driving Uber and Lyft for sure. So, time, right? No more of that rat race, right? No more of the 9 to 5s and all that stuff. Instead, we're going for, you know, self-utilization and doing what we know we can do and what equals a better payoff, because we know profits are better than wages, right? We know that much. Camera's going a little low there, probably has been, but I am paying attention to the road and not the phone. So anyway, I'm pretty excited, and I'm pretty excited to gain more excitement for what I do, and really just, you know, hustling hard, man, when it comes to, you know, making money and, you know, doing different things. I really want to you know, make the most of my time, right? So we're driving now. Peep the sign, you know, where are you at? I'm pretty excited. Pretty excited. Just a random fun fact here. I about a year ago was really getting into learning about investing in the stock market, and there was a gentleman by the name, or is a gentleman by the name of Ryan Scribner, who I followed on YouTube and followed content and learned a lot from him and his videos. And I took what I learned from him and I wanted to implement it. And one thing I learned was how important it is to really double down on making the best of an opportunity of a lifetime in the lifetime of an opportunity, right? And I read and heard about tons of different trends that people, you know, followed and made a fortune off of following. And I always wanted to do that, and I do want to do that, and I'm doing that now. And I realized that a huge part of that is, 1, being informed, 2, taking action, 3, getting paid, right? So what I'm getting at is, about a year ago, 2018, maybe early 2018 at that, you know, I'm thinking about cannabis stocks and marijuana in general, dispensaries, not even always in stocks, just, you know, dispensaries, just making money off of weed is what it came down to. And it was crazy because people were becoming millionaires in places like Connecticut. And, you know, I felt that I was late early 2018. right? And even at that time, if I would have gotten in some way, shape, or form, which I did, I would have been better off than a lot of people, especially if people are getting in now. But long story short, there's a company by the name of Kronos Group who were the first people to legally trade marijuana in the Canadian stock exchange. And I, just off of knowing that they were the first, jumped on board and said, hey, one thing I know is that if you're gonna get into something, it's better to be early than late, right? Especially when you're talking about stocks. But that probably holds true to a lot of things. I ended up going and purchasing some stock on Kronos, right? Maybe in a later video I'll tell you how much, but I purchased some stock in Kronos at around $9.50. I purchased some shares, and fast forward a year later, I've made a profit. In fact, that particular group went up 123.65% since the time that I invested, and I've made a lot of money off of them. With that being said, even getting in at $9, I've seen them at lower, and I should have gotten in at lower. I've seen them as low as $7, and I should have gotten in, when it was $7. But you can't take back the past; you can learn from it, though. And also, with that, I realized that I should be celebrating the fact that I was onto something, and the philosophy of what I did is more important than the money I've made from that particular course of taking action, if you know what I mean. Because what I learned was more valuable than the money that I made with what I learned. Because if I can duplicate what I did, there is potential for more money, which is important to realize, right? Philosophy. Bettering the way one thinks. Bettering it's not the blowing of the wind, but it's the course of the sail, right? Bettering the course of better thinking, right? That's important. Okay. Now we're going to the lair, and we're going to do some cold calls, right? So yeah, that's my little rant for the day. All right, we're gonna pull up in here and do some cold calls and talk to people. TTP. Jared, holla at me.